Don't you want to wake up to a brighter future? Isn't that what everyone wants? We can all make a difference.
Rig installation program.
Log 5. They consume and process the organic matter they find. Log 6. There's a pattern here. It's not just a system anymore. It's alive. Log 8. It's not just building structures anymore. It's creating life.
Alright gamers, geeks, and other delinquents from the outer realms, it's time for the Gamers in Beta podcast with Captain Mike M.
That is a travesty of the highest order if I've ever fucking seen one.
Featuring assorted co-hosts, JManiac17.
The fuck was that all about?
Corey Atwood.
It's not my fault you guys all have shitty taste.
Sean Quicksilver, 3355.
Well, maybe you should look it up.
And Joe State.
That game sucks, dude.
Open without a poop story. You heard it here first. Go ahead, Corey.
Yes, it might. It's our first non-poop story open, I think, in a while. So I was my daughter's 3, and she was in the bathtub yesterday. And after she's done having her bath, she just like sits there and plays in the bathtub. And I'm sitting in there with her, and she kept putting her like toes up on the side of the tub, and I was just like blowing on them, blowing on her toes, and she'd put them back down in the water, and she thought this was funny, and so she did this a bunch of times, and she also had a couple of I kept like all my G.I. Joes as a kid. I have like 100 of them, but she plays with them. She had a couple of them in the tub with her, and she, after I blew on her toes a couple of times, she lifts one of the G.I. Joes and puts him on the side of the tub, and she goes, "Dada, blow this guy, Dada, blow him." And I just was laughing too hard to do anything, and then she got upset because she couldn't figure out why I was laughing at her. But I blew him. I did it for my daughter. I blew that guy.
Wow.
Don't isolate that.
To completion?
Well, yeah, I'm not going to do it half-assed.
Oh, by the way, I'm recording, Corey, so thank you for that sound clip. I like it.
Fuck.
Well, Corey, we talked a little bit about having a sort of book club of sorts. With I think the first thing we would kick off was Red Dead Redemption, because sadly you and Jay and maybe some others on the cast as well have not played Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, it looks like we got a lot more time. A lot more time to do that.
Is it a big surprise to everybody that it was delayed?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, I as soon as I saw it, I was like, I was wondering when that was going to happen. I mean, they've done that to pretty much every game they've ever had. There's always been delays. It's only like a quarter, so.
It happens a lot for Grand Theft Auto. It's happened to quite a few Grand Theft Autos where they say it's going to be ready by fall, and then it ends up coming out in like March, like early Q1. So honestly, I didn't know when the announcement would be made, but I would have genuinely been surprised if it came out in 2017.
I mean, why rush things at this point? They print money at Rockstar. GTA is always in the top 5, sales of the month, right? So why rush it? Put it out when the damn thing is ready, and then print some more money.
The only one I can think of that didn't get delayed was the table tennis one. That's because they like surprised everybody with it or something. Maybe I'm wrong on that one too. But I mean, Rockstar is pretty much they always delay their games, but when they come out, nobody cares because when they come out, they're done right.
Yeah, I'd rather it be done.
Yeah.
Delays don't bother me anymore. I'm too old for that shit.
At least from Rockstar.
So it's supposed to come out in the spring of 2018, which is about a year from now. But Jay's correct; it's getting delayed 1 quarter. So it's supposed to come out Q4 this year. It's going to come out Q1 next year, and there might even be another delay. Who knows?
Yeah, I anticipate another one. I really do. And again, it won't bother me because there's such a glut of games out there. It really isn't affecting us too much. I mean, geez, we've got so many games now we can't keep up.
Well, the only problem with that is the story-driven games seem to be going by the wayside. So if we're getting a lot of these multiplayer games, looking at you, PUBG, Overwatch, Lawbreakers, I'm going to be starving at some point for some story.
Oh, come on. Like, they're not going to the wayside right now. What have we been playing like 2 weeks ago? Horizon Zero Dawn, Mass Effect Andromeda, Breath of the Wild, Prey. There's still a bunch of narrative stuff out there. But I think as of right now, I think there's going to be a month or two where there's going to be a break in big narrative games.
Well, certainly a big break from the Xbox people, right? They don't have any first-party games that are slated with story too much that I know about. You know.
There was one about they were bound to put one out about scales, right?
Oh.
No. Oh.
Too soon?
Well, all this laughter aside, we had some terrible news this week with the bombings in Manchester, England, at a pop concert. I forget the woman's name who was performing.
Ariana Grande.
Thank you, Corey. So she was putting on an event, and I guess it attracts younger kids, teenagers, younger adults, and some terrorists took the opportunity to do something, very, very bad there. And so people died, people got injured, terrible, terrible tragedy. Everybody expects to go to those events and have a good time and not have what went down. But we have an interesting story here. Bandai Namco is putting out a game called Get Even. Before we get into this little topic here, is anybody familiar with this game, Get Even, or understand the premise of it or anything like that?
Until this news came out and I started looking it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it, but I mean, people had played it at Gamescom in 2016. Like it had been out there. Like people knew of it, but it wasn't something that was like, widely advertised. It wasn't like this giant AAA release yet.
Yeah, and even news-wise, I could only find one thing that was like announced, and then you really hadn't even heard much since then. So.
So it's been in development since 2014. It's being billed as a gruesome psycho thriller. And I guess it maybe has some similar themes to the bombing. It's a first-person game. Stars an amnesiac. What is an amnesiac, Corey?
It's someone who forgets like everything. It's essentially what happened on like at least one episode of every single sitcom in the 80s. Someone just hits their head, forgets what's going on, have no idea who they are.
All right. So this person wakes up in a decrepit house carrying only a phone and a gun. He uses the two to help save a young girl for reasons not yet clear to him. While escaping, the strange people are hunting them down. Failure to do so results in death of both characters. So I guess the publisher and developer felt it was in poor taste to release the game shortly after what happened in Manchester. And they said out of respect that they're going to delay the game for a month. So we wanted to discuss tonight, and hopefully we have some different opinions. Do you feel this is an appropriate response to what just happened, or do you feel like this is Bandai Namco and the developer capitalizing on a disaster and getting some free advertising? Sean, do you have a strong opinion here, one way or the other?
I don't, actually. I mean, I didn't really know about this until today, and I mean, I don't think they're trying to do anything other than just maybe there's something in the game itself that maybe cuts too close to the cloth, I guess. But I don't really know too much about this. I mean, I don't think they're trying to grab head. I mean, that would be sick to begin with, but no, I don't think they're trying to grab publicity, honestly.
All right. How about you, Corey? You feel strongly one way or the other?
I would love to start up arguments here, but I kind of agree with what Sean said. I don't think there's anything malevolent going on here. Like, I don't think they're trying to capitalize on this. I'm sure, Their investors aren't happy that the game is being pushed back a month. I don't think a publicity stunt would be pushing a game back a month. But at the same time, when they say we're not doing it out of respect, I think that's, we've all been, interested in the industry long enough. We know what a PR company does. I think the reason they're doing it is because it's really could be a PR nightmare for your violent video game to come out at the exact same time or right after a national tragedy. That's terrible PR for your game, and they could take like a big hit. So I think they're not doing it to avoid really terrible PR. But, everybody says out of respect. But I'm not going to hold it against them because that's what a good PR company does. So that's what I think's going on.
The more and more I hear about the story, and I hear you guys, I'm thinking this is a fucking scam to get some free advertising. Because when I read that story, I didn't go, wow, that's too close to the Manchester bombings. And then fucking sounds like typical video game shit, right? It doesn't sound anything similar to what just happened there. Why even associate yourself with that? Just put the fucking game out and get on with it.
You remember E3 last year? During E3, there was that Miami nightclub attack, when all those people got shot up. And I guarantee none of the people presenting their games the next day were about shooting up a nightclub in Miami, but it was just about people getting shot. It was just games with a violent tone. So I agree, the game doesn't seem to have anything to do with a concert bombing, but it just has a violent tone. So I think that's one of the reasons.
What their comparison is, I guess in the beginning of the game, you come into, and I guess it's not too much of a spoiler. It's basically the introduction of the game when you first start in it, and why you're playing the way you are is there's a bomb strapped to a teenager.
Holy shit, really? That's pretty fucking close.
That is right on the frickin' nose. So, for me, my opinion with it is, and I didn't know this until afterwards because I thought the same thing as Mike. I'm like, they're grabbing this and they're like, nobody knew about this game. Nobody has even heard anything about this game. So they're using this maybe as an unintentional PR grab. But then when I found some of the articles that talked about the fact that there is a bomb strapped to a teenager on it, and I can't remember, I think you may have to disable it or something like that. I'm not sure what happens there. They didn't get too much further into that. But I was like, oh, yeah, that's hitting the nail on the head pretty hard there. So, I'm thinking that they delayed it for that fact, but it's also they are only going to benefit from the delay because it's going to give them more news. So it's taking a bad situation and trying to use it to the best situation, I guess, and not in a malicious way.
I don't know, Joe, if you agree with me or not on this, but I sort of come from the punk rock side of things and be like, fuck it, just do what you do and let the chips fall where they may. This is your artistic impression. This is the game that you were going to fucking make. Regardless of what happened in the world, the game needs to come out. Now Corey can be very right. The investors or someone could have stepped in and said, hey, you got to wait a month because this could tank and really go sideways. I'd be curious if the developers were pissed one way or the other. But to me, I think you got to stick to your guns and release the fucking thing, and not glom on to some sort of event that happened, because no one was thinking, oh, Get Even's coming out now. Oh, this is terrible, No one, like Jay said, not that many people even knew about it.
Right. If it was an indie developer and an indie game, then they might be able to have that punk rock sensibility. But they have a major publisher, the Bandai Namco. Wow, I've had one beer. This is terrible.
Well, let me give you a quick analogy. There's friends of mine in a band called Agnostic Front released a record called Dead Yuppies. You want to know when that record came out? A few weeks after 9/11. Right, and they had a fucking song in there called "Fuck Giuliani." And all this shit. And it was already, pre-recorded. The marketing shit was out there. And, it came out. It didn't do well because first of all, it wasn't that great of a record. No. But, they stuck to their guns and put it out and just let it, what happened. Certainly was not made to be, in reference of, 9/11 and things like that. It just was the way things worked out in the world. Poor timing,
Yeah, but they probably didn't have a major publisher that
Epitaph Records.
how much of a say did Epitaph have over when the game was going to release? Because certain publishers could just tell the developer straight up, we're not releasing this yet. We're gonna wait.
I'm sure Epitaph could have came to Agnostic Front and said, no, we're not putting this out. You're going to wait. Epitaph puts out, fucking Offspring, Bouncing Souls, Bad Religion. I mean, it's a huge indie label,
But in this situation, I mean, it's Bandai Namco with, I don't even know if this dev has even put out any other games. How little I know.
Farm 51.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's really that bad, would you delay it longer? Is it a month? Like I said, I think it's a bad situation that they're trying to get the best out of it, and also, in a good way. They're trying to put it off to be sympathetic, but I think it also works in their favor, whether it's done intentionally or not. I'm not sure.
I think the comments in here are appropriate. The Polygon article doesn't mention the girl with the bomb strapped to her chest. And the other comments are going, this is a cheesy PR stunt. And then someone put it in there, well, she's got a bomb strapped to her chest. And people were like, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, that's a huge piece. I didn't know.
Yeah, right. But she's not...
It's teenager, it's bombs. It's teen bombs. That's like half of a tweet about this event. And
but she wasn't trying to kill anybody. She was just, unfortunately, someone put a bomb on her.
Yes.
Still, the major headlines are bombs and teenagers.
I guess the main point here is I'm 41 and I can fucking know the difference between a video game and a real life event and not be offended by if something comes out.
Yeah. But this covers things for them too. I mean, it's like, look, we've delayed it out of respect because of this kind of link, and then they can still put it out because it's only going to be a month. It's not like they said we're going to do it 6 months until things calm down. It's we've acknowledged it. Here it is. We're going to delay, and it'll come out, and it gave us a little bit of PR.
And you know what? Sadly, I don't want to turn this into a political show, but I think since this thing has happened, we've had bombings. I know today there was a bombing in Baghdad at an ice cream store. I think there was a bombing yesterday with some Christian church in Iraq. Because these things don't happen on soil of European countries or American countries, they don't get as much play. But my point is bombs are always fucking going off, right?
Yeah, but how it's not going to be hard for like any amateur blogger to write a like inflammatory article because you just need those key headlines, bombs, teenagers. Like, people don't read fucking articles anymore. They just read headlines. So it'd be very easy for people to write all this terrible stuff about this game, even if they knew nothing about it. They just need the keys, bomb, teenager. And they could write about how terrible this is.
Before we move on, Joe, do you have a feeling on this at all?
Giuliani, fuck you.
That's a good song. It is a good song.
Sometimes I get that song stuck in my head.
That's like the last record they did with like pretty much the classic lineup with Kabuler and Jimmy on Kabuler on bass and Jimmy on drums.
As for my thoughts on this, I like to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I like to think that they're being genuine. But I am a huge skeptic about fucking like everything. So at the same time, it does seem like a really good way to capitalize on a tragedy. So I kind of just like, I don't know. I try to be an optimist on it, but that's just not necessarily.
I think more proof if the game comes out good, if it's a good game, it makes more sense. They were confident they could release it now. They could release it in a month. It's still a good game. Mm-hmm. If the game is terrible, then you're like,
what's that going to? How would that change?
They needed more time. They didn't want a terrible game with just a bomb thrown in.
Was it like about ready to come out? Like, wouldn't we assume that all the development is done? I thought it was completely polished and ready to go.
Cautiously optimistic, Corey.
You bunch of cynics.
All right, well, let's move on here. We got a different story, but very political at the same time. Far Cry 5 has been revealed. And this is going to star a cult in Montana known as Eden's Gate. I believe this is taking place in Hope County, Montana, which is a fictional place in Montana. But the team did spend, I think, 2 to 3 weeks in Montana talking to people, getting a scope of the land and the feel and things like that. There is a self-styled prophet named Joseph Seed. He has brothers and sisters that help run his cult. I think his younger brother is like the sort of the face of the cult. He's the crazy one that maybe rounds people up and things like that. Some of the basic information, and you can play the game completely from start to finish in either single player or drop in, drop out co-op, which will be online. You're going to be able to recruit locals to join the resistance. So clearly you are going to be fighting the people at Eden's Gate.
Play as a male or female, I think. That's part of the character creator this time.
Yep, there is a character creation tool. And you can also recruit bears and other sorts of wildlife to do things for you.
Hey, bear, come fight with me. Here's a gun.
It is an open world game. I guess you can play it, how you like, approach it in many different ways. There's going to be vehicles. There's going to be planes.
I have a feeling since it's an Ubisoft game, there's going to be a few towers to climb to unlock parts of the map.
No.
just a hunch here.
I'm thinking they may have swapped them over to church steeples this time.
Oh, maybe.
And this comes out the end of February. Okay. Some people, I haven't watched the reaction videos because I couldn't find one that was, I tried to look casually, but I couldn't find anything. Supposedly there is a segment of the people out there, population, that are upset about this game.
Well, people are mad on the internet? No, never.
Well, mad for different reasons. Not mad, they're mad that they're stereotyping people, right? That they're...
How dare a video game stereotype people? We haven't been blowing away people in foreign countries for, God, I don't know. When did we start playing video games?
Right. What's that guy that put out Nuclear Throne? The Muslim guy that does all the PR websites that all the devs use. I forget his name. He's a very popular guy. He's always at PAX and E3. He's always selling the television afterwards and always has tons of people at his booth to play Nuclear Throne. Anyways, he made a post on Twitter. He's like, so some white people are upset that they're actually getting killed where Muslims have been killed in games without, forever without being, any question.
Yeah, but these are white people, man. Mm-hmm. I think it's I want the game right away. It's the first time I've been really interested in a Far Cry for a while. Not because it looks like I can kill some right wingers. I mean, if you really take 2 seconds and take yourself out of the key point headlines, these people are like, if you watch the trailer, he's not like a right-wing Christian Trump supporter. This is like Westboro Baptist Church on steroids. These people are like. Yeah. It's like a hardcore cult. It's a cult of people. It's not like right-wing Christians, but it's very easy to throw up
who's to say that's not a cult?
Well, I don't want to go down that road. I'm just saying. I think.
But you need to look at the other games too, and how was it? In a way, it's kind of the same. They had these, straight line attacks or whatever you want to call it. They had beliefs that were outside the norm, which got crazy, and everybody was killing each other for it. And that's going to bring it to America. It's usually what you run into that. You got Westboro. You got what was the one in Texas there? They actually ended up burning the whole thing down. And
Christianity.
Yeah, the Koresh. Yeah, all them. That's kind of what they're basing it off of. So it has a basis of what they're going off, and it's fiction.
Well, right wingers are like people who are. I don't want to get political on this, but talking about this game, it's almost impossible not to at least address the situation. Like people who are Middle American Christians, they have their beliefs, but they are always trying to set themselves apart from the Westboro Baptist Church. Like if you lump them in with Westboro Baptist Church, it's like lumping in regular everyday Muslims with like Muslim extremists. It's not fair. So at the same time, when like people in Middle America who are just like good old-fashioned Christians see this game and be like, how dare they kill Middle American Christians? Like, it's not you. I think people are jumping to conclusion, especially about the cover. People see the cover and they see like what looks like an American flag and a few white people.
The cover is supposed to resemble the Last Supper.
Right. And I think people are getting up in arms about it. It makes me mad that hardcore gamer gators or people who are just nonsensical are getting mad about this. That actually makes me happy when those people get mad. But this looks like a really interesting Far Cry. I think it's cool to be able to play in the States, that they found like an area that's, could feel isolated, and you could roam around. You could fly planes and do all the cool Far Cry shit in the States.
And then,
I think.
oh, go ahead, Joe.
Sorry, I think I heard it was Jeff Gersman saying that when this first came out, there was like a 600-page Reddit thread about is the dog Christian.
And the wild thing is, it's a wolf, not a dog.
I love how he is at the table though, right there in the cover.
Hey.
So to add fuel to the fire, if you've been following the news, there was a situation, I believe it was in Portland. Joe, was it in Portland or Seattle?
Yeah, Portland.
Portland, where this a guy, a white supremacist, was yelling racial, slurs at this. I'm not sure if she was Muslim or if she was.
Yeah,
There
Muslim.
was two young Muslim girls.
Right, and so these other white dudes came to their defense, and the guy killed both of them, stabbed both of them to death. So you're seeing on Twitter now.
He slit two people's throats and stabbed another one who is still hospitalized.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they know who this guy is. They got pictures of him. I'm not sure how long ago. Looked like a little while because he had short hair, and his mugshot he had long hair. But anyways, he was doing the Nazi salute with an American flag, draped around his neck, in somewhere wherever he's from. And so then they put that image next to the cover of Far Cry 5.
Wait, is that the same guy?
Yes, that's the same guy.
That's the guy that was going around giving the Nazi salute at that recent Trump rally then?
No, there's a picture of this guy
weird.
with like shorts on, and he's
and
got
the American flag, and he's throwing the...
I
remember seeing that guy's picture. So there was a big Trump rally like last month or recently, even before then, that was put on by all the like crazy right-wing people, and they hired all the 3%ers as their security, and then a bunch of my like Antifa friends were on the other side, and they were like battling back and forth and everything. But like there was this one guy that was getting shunned by all of the marching right-winger Trump defenders, and it was that guy, the fucking American flag Zig Hailing guy.
It's too crazy for them. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to play Far Cry 5? You think they'll let him
He's
play?
going to be playing anything. He'll
I
be
don't
a
think
hero.
they'll let him play there. No.
He'll be a hero in jail for sure. He'll have his supporters.
He's gonna click up real quick.
I hear the Wi-Fi in jail's terrible, so he won't be able to play the drop-in, drop-out co-op.
And that's the thing that I'm really interested to see, because they've been working on each time they reiterate, the co-op, and that's one of the big things a lot of people want. So I'm curious to see if they can get it right on this one, because that would be a lot of fun.
Sean, are you a Far Cry guy at all? You played those before?
No, but I was thinking about starting with 3, possibly giving it a shot. Never actually played any of those games.
That's my
why.
favorite. So
I have no idea.
Start with.
I don't know why I never played any of them, but I was thinking about giving them a shot.
If you want to,
didn't even have a number, right? Primal was just its own thing.
Yeah,
Right.
They do like short offshoots, that's like what I was going to say. If you want to like dip your toe into Far Cry, try Blood Dragon, because Blood Dragon is fucking awesome, and it's like a relatively short game, but it's so good.
But it's so outside of the others. Oh my god.
The spirit is the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so hilarious too. But yeah, 3 is really good. I mean, 3 is essentially what they used to make Blood Dragon anyway.
Yes, it was. That was the same engine and same everything, just kind of
There
repainted
seems to
it.
be a cult thing going on as of recently. Like, seems to be a big thing nowadays with the Outlast coming out not that long. Outlast 2 coming out, and some of these other games. The whole cult.
Church in the Darkness, and
I don't know about recently, because Dead Space was all about a cult. Maybe coming back.
Well, coming back, because
in popularity.
Corey, what was that game we played? You played at PAX East. I watched you the top down. Wasn't that a cult type game?
Church in the Darkness, right?
Yep, Church in the Darkness.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't know the name of it. So I'm just.
That one's about like old 70s cults. That's like a time.
There's another one similar to that too that's coming out too. So I can't remember the name of it now. But yeah, it seems to be doing these these right wing cults.
Cults of the New Zombies, man.
Hey, maybe they are.
Sorry, I looked it up a little more.
Yeah.
And then it totally is. It is that guy. He was like wearing a Centennial flag and carrying a baseball bat and yelling the N-word and whatnot. And he got booted out of that pro-Trump rally on April 29th. And then all of a sudden this happened.
Guy seems to have some issues. Seems to be a little angry about something.
Terrible. People just minding their own business and,
doing the right thing.
And then, the people coming and doing the right thing, and now they're dead. It's very unfortunate. Let's move on to some other positive news besides these depressing tragedies.
Let's get happy again. Anybody got a poop story?
Joe and Corey, how long has it been now since you went to, was it North Carolina, to check out Lawbreakers? Has it been over a year already, or?
It's like a year and a month at this point.
Yeah, I got one of those Facebook memories or so of me like in the airport there. So it's been just over a year.
Were you blowing a G.I. Joe guy at the airport or no?
No. In the bathroom, and he was a steward, not stewardess. So
I'm not a GI.
Just a Joe. So Lawbreakers. This was a shock to me coming to the PS4. A shock because we heard for a while that there was just no, I guess, bandwidth at Boston Studios.
It was not coming.
Yeah, he was very, very adamant. I knew it. I said so many times, I'm like, they're throwing money away. Is money on the table? I swear to God, it's going to come out for consoles. It made no sense to me why it wouldn't, but they were super, super adamant. They didn't even have a control scheme for controllers. It was all mouse and keyboard there. When we went
they
to
kept saying like with all the like shooting backwards and all that stuff, it just wouldn't map to the controller very well.
Which was horseshit. It was total horseshit. But it was it wouldn't work on a controller. We're like, we know that it would.
Well, Overwatch wasn't as big then, right? Overwatch just came out, or was just coming out.
It was. I don't think it was out yet. And what was the other one? The competitor that everyone forgot. Battleborn, yeah. It was those two that people were comparing this to. I remember a lot of people had questions about how are you going to compete with Overwatch and Battleborn when those are on the horizon.
Has anybody played Lawbreakers?
These two guys.
Yeah, we did. Well,
since
we played the alpha.
I've ignored it, Jay, quite frankly, because the line that was being fed to us was that it was only going to be PC, so I just tuned it out. I didn't do sign up for any of the betas or anything like that. So,
because when they tweeted out about the beta, I sent a tweet and asked them, will it have controller support? And then they reply back was, it has it now. I was like, oh. I asked for if it had full controller support. And they said yes. So, but I never fired it up. So,
boo.
So I just signed up for the beta. You can sign up now and you can select PS4. So we'll see what happens there. So again, it is coming to the PS4. It's going to be $30. There's going to be no pay-to-win mechanics. All the DLC will be free, I believe.
Sticking with what he said in my interview.
Yep. He does a very nice article. If you go to the PlayStation blog, he says, I don't want to come on here and give you some sort of marketing spiel. I took some time off. I got fat. I got bored, and I wanted to go back to work. And this is a game that I envisioned making, dealing with gravity and stuff like that for a long time. His COO is actually one of the guys who started Guerrilla Games. So
Bruce A, I think his name was. His last name. Yeah.
He's got some smart people. They got some money behind it, and he believes the $30 price tag will help them out.
That I think will be their strongest thing against Overwatch. Overwatch has a pretty solid lock on the first-person arena shooter right now, and that's exactly what this is. For anybody who doesn't know, who we didn't explain, like Lawbreakers is completely an arena shooter right out of Battleborn or Overwatch, where you just pick your character. The story really doesn't matter that much. You just pick one of your sides, and then you do like those objective style game types. But it's really super fast, and there's areas without gravity. That the whole thing is like, what was their old tagline, Joe? It's like, make gravity your bitch, something like that. That's what our joke was. But I don't remember what the real tagline. They've changed it since, but it was all about you'd go in parts of the map with zero gravity, so you could float. A lot of the characters had different ways to get around the map super fast. Like there's one guy with a like Spider-Man style way of moving around the map. It was cool, but it was super, super fast.
Mm-hmm. Anybody, Sean or Jay, surprised it's not coming to the Xbox One? At least not now?
Just because PS4 seems to be getting everything and it's more popular, and maybe PS4 went to them and courted them, Yeah. So just to get him on there and get it, because, I mean, Cliffy B does bring in people, and he's a big name, so.
Right. I'm just surprised, Gears title, was a first-party thing. Just a little, it doesn't match up, right? Cliffy B on doing PlayStation promos and stuff like that. Seems to be a little out of place in my little spectrum of the world.
I think maybe something's going on that we don't know about behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a lot of contacts, obviously, at Microsoft and stuff from, leading that big first-party title, and that turned into a series, but maybe some bridges got burned that we didn't know about. Or maybe Sony just offered him a really sweet fucking deal. Or maybe it's a time thing. You never know.
Well, you could be right on that bridges burn thing, too, because there's been a lot of, people that we've heard from in the past that have had the bridges burned thing, so...
What were you saying, Joe? I didn't hear you when I was talking.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Sean said, he has a lot of contacts at Microsoft. There may just be something hidden or whatever, something along those lines. And I said, well, maybe it was just something very obvious, like the Microsoft Xbox sucks.
Oh. That segues us into the next thing, but let's not get there quite yet. I think more realistically that PlayStation probably sought them out.
Yeah, I think that's it. Because, like I said, when we went to PAX, look, how many booths did we go into where they had people who were part of that deal, where they were, just checking to see if the guys had what they needed and was everything all set? And there were even a few booths that the games weren't coming to PS4. The PS4 guys were in there talking with the devs, and so I think PS4 is being pretty aggressive about trying to get as much as they can on their console first. So.
All right, everybody's talking super low tonight. Low energy show.
Oh, no.
Sorry. Just so I can breathe, I'm on steroids. So
nice pump up. We'll have to get Arnold Bronswager back to pump you up.
I pick things up, I put them down.
All right, Corey, desperately get me out of the open and move on to something fun and uplifting, please.
All right, so let's move on to our question of the week.
They think they got the answers. I change the questions.
All right, last week's question of the week was what announcement at E3 could make our very own Joe State, we know how he feels about Microsoft. If you don't know from previous episodes, you could probably gather from that previous segment. What would make Joe State buy an Xbox One and or Scorpio? So what E3 announcement would make him run out and purchase one right away like it was an NES classic? All right, so our first responder was Chaffee. It's Chaffee, right?
Chaffee. Games We Don't Play podcast.
I know. I don't know why that throws me off, the A and the U together. I don't know. Either way, he said it would take the use of 7 hella, a minimum of 3 uses of lit, and also accepting it's lit. There would have to be one solid fuck devious Mr. Matt from the 40 cast said through the cardboard cutout face of Joe State. That was fun when we did that at the get-together.
Good call there. Tied a lot into that.
And the next responder is the elusive man. He says the answer is obvious. Microsoft would have to announce that all PlayStation games would now be playable on their consoles. Would that do it, Joe?
Well, you would also have to make the PlayStation controller work with the console as well, because the Xbox has a shitty controller.
And if you ask me, Jay, the warranty is shitty as well. So
there used to be a cord that existed that you could play one. I think it was for the OG Xbox and the PS2. You could play with a PS2 controller on an OG Xbox. I remember buying that.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah, it was terrible.
An adapter.
Didn't really work very well either.
I might have considered playing an original Xbox if I knew that.
Yeah, it's still.
But Jesus Christ, the original Xbox controller was the biggest fucking piece of garbage in the world.
Oh,
besides the N64.
The Duke or the S?
I don't know the difference.
The Duke was the one that you could defend yourself with. The Duke. It was like
Duke was the size of your head.
It was Captain America's shield.
Well, that sounds right. The Duke.
All
Short
right, you're
for the Dookie. So I guess I'm up next, huh? You get to read for myself. Guy. Oh man, that's funny. You do that. Getting all Boston. I was hanging out with John LaCroix last night, and he was getting all Boston because he had a few beers.
Broke his edge.
A long time ago, broke his edge. Skyfox says, HoloLens threw me up. He wrote HoloLens, like, whoa, shit, HoloLens, that's what's up. HoloLens would be a step forward to keeping up with PlayStation technological advances, but Scorpio won't matter since PS4 is already developing a better console. I hope they come out with all the advances. That way Sony can top them off with the next gen and leave MS scrambling to keep up. Or at least my hopes. Also, more God of War stuff. All right.
Took that
answer the question?
He took that very seriously, Skyfox.
Serious.
Hella serious, if I get in the spirit of the question.
Hey, fucking feel free.
He was lit
crazy days.
Lit as fuck.
As fuck.
You gotta say AF.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
Apologies.
Crazy Days with a Z says Microsoft would have to agree to buy all his eBay auctions for 2 years at twice the price. Pay for a Scorpio, at which point he just put it up on eBay, forcing Microsoft to buy it back again at twice the price. A little known fact: last night we were going to record, but then I had to back out of recording, and I recorded something where I just read all these answers and responded to them, and I gave Crazy Days a fucking standing ovation for this answer. So wherever that is, that recording, that's off in the depths. That's like, who knows if that'll ever see the light of the day. But I just need to, I need to clap for Crazy Days because he nailed it.
If you could make Microsoft financially your bitch, that's the only way.
And that's that was the type of answer we were looking for, like total, like out of the box, dream big. So way to go, Crazy Days.
Yes, I'll give you that.
Very nice. So, Shownuff71. They could be bold and drastically change their current trend by announcing games? I kid. Kinda.
That won't happen, right?
Oh, so mean.
RoboPig from Good for Gaming. Did I get that right? Good for.
Yes, sir.
Oh. Mm-hmm. They would need to announce the all-new VR-ready game, eBay Tycoon. Or maybe a Street Fighter game where you would fight Matt Roloff for sweet vintage furniture.
Yes.
Great callback.
So RoboPig also gets a standing O because that was very much in the spirit as well.
I see Joe just
shut up and take my money.
I would play eBay Tycoon.
Sweep the leg.
I'm going to butcher this one. I apologize.
Fredo Kruger. They will have a nice surprise. We've been getting very good improvements, saving the best for last at Xbox at Joe State DX.
It sounds like he knows something that we don't know. It sounds very, very sinister.
Sounds like he's been drinking the Kool-Aid.
Surprise. Will it be a happy ending?
Ooh.
Everybody, this is Jay, the Maniac 17.
Is he going to get a hand job?
Take it back.
Yeah, that might make him buy it. Who knows?
All right, here we got Prometheus. Microsoft announces they have stopped making Xboxes so he could buy a bunch and sell them on eBay for a huge profit. Very nice.
Solid
answer there.
Very logical.
I know you, Joe.
I actually said that off the air last week when we talked about this question.
So Prometheus
you pretty much like almost word for word took my shit.
There you go, Prometheus. You win question of the week.
Sistel68 says Joe State would never stoop so low as to even consider buying such garbage.
Also a correct answer.
Right. You have a fellow hater over there.
Dr. Johns. And get the Scorpio because it's going to be the most powerful console on the market. Who wouldn't want to play their games on the most powerful console on the market? Did you see how powerful that console is going to be? Did I mention it's going to be the most powerful console in the market? P.S. It's the most powerful console in the market. Anytime Joe tries to rebuttal, just go, shh, most powerful.
Shh, asshole.
I should have put a shh on here on the soundboard before we started. I should have read ahead.
And Colin, W at PDX Geek, Goat Simulator 2. That do it, Joe?
Colin is a pal. He lives up the street from me. I have played Goat Simulator on his Xbox One with him at his house.
Oh, wow. Whoa. So he has the inside scoop there.
Xbox fanboy.
No. Goat Simulator fanboy. That shit's cool as fuck. The thing I recorded last night said, oh yeah, I played this at your house, but I've also played it on my fucking iPhone. So there you go. The Xbox One is the equivalent of an iPhone.
Did you enjoy yourself while playing it on his Xbox One?
Yeah, because it's a fucking Goat Simulator game. That shit's fun.
Scandal.
Nice. So we've found the inside hub, although you can still play it on PC. And did it come out on Sony?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's your homework, Jay. You let us know
I'll do that. That'll be my homework for next week. Let's finish these up. We've got Aaron, MBA, otherwise known as Indio Techno, or as devious Mr. Matt would say, shut the fuck up. If Sony bought Microsoft, he still wouldn't buy a new Xbox One.
Also correct.
Holy headshot.
I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't hate Microsoft. I just hate the Xbox.
Right.
Where?
I have a Windows PC. I use fucking Microsoft products. I just hate the Xbox.
Right.
So what is
I'm hearing about this?
What is it about the Xbox itself? Because it's not like this is the only Xbox. This is the third iteration of the console, or third generation or whatever. So have you hated Xbox from the OG, like from the get-go?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Why? I'm curious. I hated the original Xbox, the OG, I guess. But the reason I hated it at the time is because I was a Sony fanboy because I could only afford one console at the time. Once I got, old enough to be able to afford more than one, I was like, fuck it, who cares?
I don't like any of their exclusive games. I think Halo sucks, pretty bad. And I think it's way overrated. And then Gears of War, not a fan. I don't care about driving games in general, so I've never cared about Forza, but I also don't care about Gran Turismo. So that's kind of that's null. But I don't know, man. I've never, ever found anything redeeming about the Xbox. The first one, the controller was giant and terrible. The console itself was ugly. And there's just the only use I've ever found for an Xbox was my friend had his hacked and used it as his media center. Like, oh yeah, well you don't play games on it. You just use it to stream the movies that you pirated from one side of your house to the other. I can respect that.
The OG was a really good emulator too. If you put a NES or Super NES or Genesis emulator on it.
Yeah, well, so is the Dreamcast.
Yeah, well, there you go. So you can avoid all that nasty Xboxness.
Yeah. Holy Headshot at Holy Headshot from Everyday Gamers. Nothing. He'll already be snapping up a few to flip on eBay. I don't know.
Only if the margins are there.
Right. And last, we have Dad's Getting Grounded at DGG Podcast. Something hella sick, lit, and dope that really speaks to him, like Sunset Overdrive 2.
You did mention thinking Sunset Overdrive was interesting. Did you not? I swear you said that last time.
It's the only game that looks interesting to me from the Xbox lineup. I guess I forgot about that one when I mentioned the exclusives. But Corey, can you do me a favor?
I could.
Do you have that crickets sound effect?
Oh, after that hella sick lit dope joke?
Yeah.
Hopefully that picks up. It's quiet.
Chaffee did it right, but sorry, Dad's Getting Grounded. You used your official Twitter handle to drop a total bomb.
Aww.
Fucking Joe.
All right, well, now it's time to give our answers. Does anybody want to go first? Does anybody have something cooked up that's great and super awesome and hella dope and sick?
Oh, shit, now I can't put that in my joke. I'm just going to go the super boring logical route. If they announced a shortage and Joe was able to find some, flip them on eBay, because he's not like he said, he doesn't hate Microsoft. That wouldn't keep him from turning a profit on eBay, so that would make him fucking buy one, wouldn't it?
Yep, I think so.
It would.
I'm looking straight from the source. Joe, would you buy one if you knew you could flip like a super like NES classic style profit?
I absolutely would. 100%. Yes.
Fuck yeah.
And that would be my same answer. So,
a copycat.
Well, it's not copycat. That's about it. Because other than the Goat Simulator, but I don't think he's going to buy it for one game when you can get it on PC too.
Maybe what if Xbone exclusive?
What we've always said all along is that imagine if you could play Nintendo games on your Xbox.
Oh.
Right? So if you could, all of a sudden, I know Lowe's said PlayStation, which is very similar, but if you could, bring all that stuff over.
You can. Just plug in the HDMI.
All right, someone else fucking go.
Oh, good job, Jay. Good job, Jay.
We're not to that segment yet. I thought it was going to be shut.
Oh, my God. I'm going to say nothing, because that's what it would take. Honestly, unless there's an eBay thing, but, Joe's not going to change. He hasn't changed in many episodes I've been on. He's always been an Xbox hater. He's always going to be an Xbox hater. I think that there is nothing that'll change him over to picking up an Xbox.
That's true, because you know what they say.
Ding, ding, ding. Also, Microsoft has made it completely unnecessary to own an Xbox if you have a computer, because all of the first-party fucking games are cross-buy.
Oh yeah, I hear you can play them anywhere, so to speak.
So why the fuck would I buy an Xbox if I already have a computer? And at this point, it makes zero sense.
Because maybe your computer is just a working computer for emails and Outlook and all that type of basic stuff, and the Scorpio is going to be the most powerful console. And so therefore, you don't have a gaming PC.
Well, I'll get into that in a minute, but
Powerful.
Most powerful.
So tell the people, Corey, what the question of the week is for next week.
All right. You caught me scrolling to the wrong section of the planner. Okay, question of the week. Now, lately, I don't know if you guys have kept up with it, but a big genre lately is the battle royale genre, for lack of a better term. If you guys don't know what I mean, like Player Unknown Battlegrounds, The Calling, Ark Survival of the Fittest, games where essentially you're just dropped into an area with nothing and you have to find weapons and armor. Sometimes you're alone, sometimes you're with a team, and you're just driven slowly closer and closer together, and it's just, you have to kill everybody and survive. Everybody has one life. And if you guys haven't seen it, Joe and Sean have been streaming Player Unknown Battlegrounds lately. Were you guys using the official Gamers in Beta Twitch stream there? I don't remember.
Yes.
Yeah, so check that out. That was super fun to watch. But let's say you were going into a battle royale situation in real life, and you had one teammate, and you could take one member of Gamers in Beta. Which co-host would you take, and why? So I want to hear explanations. I don't just want to hear names. So I want to know why, whether we'd be good bullet sponges, or whether you think we would actually stand a chance in a battle royale situation.
They got the answers. I change the questions.
Well, aren't you sick and tired of talking on the phone? Sitting in your room, conversing all alone. Talking about everybody else. But what you'd really rather do is talk about yourself. So, don't talk to me.
What? I do like that intro song. That's probably my favorite now. So we only had 2 voicemails this time. Our first is from our buddy Meef J. So let's play that.
Hey, Gamers in Beta. This is Meef J. calling to say congrats on episode 201. Yay, you made it.
Yay.
I thought you quit at 200. No, and really, I hate I missed sending y'all a voicemail last week, but I was having surgery and stuff, so that was a thing.
Excuses.
But I tried to think back on how long I've been listening to you guys, and it's, I mean, way back into the double digits. I don't even know when I started, and y'all are just part of my weekly rotation. I like what you're doing. I like the changes y'all have implemented recently with kind of the co-host rotation and all that. So keep up the good work. Congrats again on 201. I'm assuming y'all make it to 201. And yeah, thanks for everything you guys have done for the Everyday Gamers guys, me, Eric, and Chris. And anything we can do for you guys, don't hesitate to ask. Talk to y'all later.
Wouldn't he have felt like an asshole if we just imploded right after 200? Just no 201.
The show just collapses. Well, it doesn't get fucking better than this, guys.
It's over after 200.
We're done.
After the first half of this show, the thought has crossed my mind.
Oh, come on, Mike. I'm just going to extend all my words out.
Who do we got next, Corey?
Oh, the mysterious Fred French has returned.
Ooh.
Gamers in beta. It's Fred French calling you again. Got some reports in saying that your show of 200 had some great downloads and ratings. Congratulations. Glad to hear it. Also, just to let you know that the sale of yellow mustard in that time period was also spiking, so it's a win-win for everybody. Calling with a question, a two-part question for everybody on the cast there.
Ooh.
With this being Memorial Day weekend and the summer approaching, I'm just curious if when you grill, if you're a charcoal guy or if you're a propane guy.
Oh.
The second part of the question is what do you like to make on the grill? What's your favorite thing to make on the grill? I'll answer my question for you. I'm a propane guy, basically because I think it's a little bit quicker and easier, not as much work. And one of the things I really like about on the grill is throwing a corn on the cob on the grill and making that really delicious. I hope everybody there has a great Memorial Day weekend, and game on, people, game on.
What the fuck?
The illustrious Fred French has struck again.
Fred French is the shit.
I'm going to get a Fred French sound effect and put it on here just to intro Fred French. I don't know about you guys. I have strong opinions about charcoal versus propane. Does anybody else? Anybody else want to go first?
Yes.
I have vivid memories. Of course, being over 40, there wasn't, what we call gas grills now. I don't remember those as a kid. Everybody was doing charcoal, whether it was hibachis or just those, like, tripod grills that you get at, like, Sears,
Well, they weren't
distinctively
running around with their hoop and stick, watching their black and white televisions.
Distinctively remember, you'd have to get the gasoline, like you'd shoot the charcoals with some gasoline, or you'd have like a
gasoline
lighter fluid.
Lighter fluid.
Isn't that kerosene?
Fuck it, gasoline. Mike's using gasoline.
Shit. Yeah, I want the shit fucking cooked right away. I got no fucking time to waste here. Right?
You just go to the car, you fucking get one of those funnels out or whatever.
But I remember
siphon.
So many of my uncles almost getting, their eyebrows singed off by putting the lighter fluid in too much, and shit just come flying out at them.
That's a sign of summer. No eyebrows. That's the beginning of summer.
I always prefer the charcoal just because the taste, but just the inconvenience of what are you going to do with the coals afterwards? Where are you going to dump them? I'm not a guy that lives in the sticks and just put them in my backyard. And it's city boy back then. We didn't have that much grass to begin with. So while I prefer charcoal, propane gas is just very much out of convenience, like Fred French said. And as far as what I like to put on the grill, I'm a big steak tip guy. I'm not a big fan. Like if I go to a restaurant, I never order steak, but something about steak tips on the grill is just phenomenal.
Smells so good too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
I'm kind of similar to you. I prefer the propane. Just it's easier. I mean, convenience. You just go out there, turn it on, hit the igniter, and 10, 15 minutes later, you're cooking. So, and for me, I like burgers and steaks on the grill and whatnot. And I usually will put them up. I have that upper rack. I'll set them up there and kind of cook them a little slower and put some corn up there, corn on the cob. cook that on the grill. It's just convenience. You know, them old days, the only thing that made things easier for charcoal was when they came with those, like the chimneys, you'd put it in there with some newspaper in the bottom.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But it still takes you a half hour, you know, to get the fire and the coals laid out and go in. And now, so propane, boom, you're out there, you're cooking.
I probably haven't used any grill in 3-4 years. I'm the only one in my house that eats meat. So, you know, the 5 times, you know, that we might use it for veggie patties, it just doesn't, you know, all the work, you know, and shit. It just, I'm going to fucking buy all this meat just for one guy.
Fuck yeah.
No. If you're buying, sure, I'll stock up, you know.
You should come down here. I will fucking make you some shit on the grill. I'm going to get this off my chest right away. I love the smell of charcoal grills. They smell awesome. Like you guys said, they take me back to my childhood. And who doesn't love seeing a giant flame shoot out of something when you throw, I guess, with my gasoline in the grill? I was thinking of your grill.
Whatchamacallit, your fucking...
Yeah, I was going to say, your flamethrower. Yeah, so Corey likes flames.
Yes, fire. But I'm with Hank Hill. You want to taste the heat and not. You want to taste the meat and not the heat. Well, I fucked up that Hank Hill impression right there.
You were still thinking about blowing those G.I. Joe guys.
I can't get it out of my head. That or blowing Joe in an airport bathroom, I guess.
Did he do the foot technique beforehand? Did he give you the sign?
Yeah, the double tap. Yeah.
Yeah, double tap. Yeah.
There you go. There's double tap, Mike legs. So, propane all the way, man. And as far as what I want to cook on the grill, like I'm a big fan of cooking burgers. Burgers are probably my favorite thing to cook just because I was on a camping trip one summer with buddies of mine from high school. It was late into the evening. Everybody was completely hammered. There's only a few people left awake. You guys know those situations where everybody drops off. There's just a few people left up. And a buddy of mine wanted to cook burgers, and he's cooking them. And he's drunk, so he's just like throwing his beer on the raw meat as it's cooking on the grill, just like pouring his beer all over the raw meat because he thought it was funny. And it was the best fucking burger I've ever had in my life. So that is the Gamers in Beta grill cooking tip that I have to throw out there. If you're making burgers, do it with a beer because A, it makes cooking better, and B, just splash just a little bit of beer on top of the raw side of the patty before you flip it over. And then when you flip it over, pour just a little bit on the backside. Just one little splash. And seriously, it's going to be the best fucking burger you've ever had.
I do that with steak and chicken. I'll put it in a Ziploc bag, put some barbecue sauce in it, and then pour some beer in it so it thins it out. And marinate it like that for a day and then throw it on the grill. Oh, that's good.
What kind of beer?
I generally use like the wheat beers and stuff like that. I'll use like Coors or something like
stout.
Yeah, no, not doing a chocolate mixed out. Today, what did I use today? It was a strawberry wheat that I had picked up that was not great, but it was a light beer. It didn't really have a strawberry flavor to it, so I used that today in the barbecue sauce for the ribs.
Well, Sean, I don't want to cut you off here, but I just want to bring something up. The place that we might be going to for a Gamers in Beta meetup, Night Shift Brewing, they have... partnered up with some company called Sauce, S-A-U-S, and they're releasing a hot beer mustard, which brings us back to Fred French and wonder if Fred is into the hot beer mustard.
How yellow is this mustard? That's my question.
I only can look at the jar. It doesn't look yellow. It looks dark.
So you'll be able to smell it then? Is that what you're saying?
Don't know. Smell as long as it smells like beer, not that fucking yellow mustard crap. All right, Sean, lay it on us.
I'm going to go with charcoal all the way. I mean, I have used propane, but I grill all year long, so charcoal is definitely. Well, you know, hey, I like the way the charcoal tastes. Chicken is what I meant. A little State Farm marinade with it. Marinate the chicken for a couple of hours. Throw it on the grill. There's nothing like it. So, and I grill everything from vegetables to
my cereal to spam.
Did you just say State Farm?
Just let it go, Joe. Just let it go.
You get chicken from your fucking insurance agency?
Did you not listen to what I said, Joe? Maybe if you get the cock out of your ears, you would have heard what I said.
Oh shit! Now I've got to ask for the ones that use gas. State Farm chicken. For the ones that use gas, do you have lava rocks in your grill?
No.
I have a layer of lava rocks under the grate that I cook on, so the burners are underneath it. So for me, that kind of gives me that charcoal-y taste too.
You guys are more than welcome to come over. What I have right now in my grill, underneath the rack is a layer of mice shit, and on top of the layer of the rack is a hornet's nest.
So that'll give you some good flavor there, man.
You guys want to come over and we'll cook up some food? You're more than welcome. I can get that shit going anytime.
I cook up some State Farm.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Did you not hear the marinade part? Are you just listening to what you want to hear, Joe, or is that what we're doing tonight?
Just listen to what you said, Sean.
He's only
listen to what you said.
He just wants State Farm veggie burgers. That's all. Just make him a State Farm veggie burger.
I don't even have a farm, dog.
It was like a trigger point there. Sean really got upset about that.
He fucking grills all the time. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, don't mess with the farm.
I'm envious now. Sean, is the grilling best in New York or Vermont?
I couldn't tell you because I haven't been able to grill lately because I've been working a lot. So,
all right.
Hey,
that's enough of that fucking food talk there.
I have no preference. I'm cool with charcoal or gas, and I like corn on the cob on the grill as well. Just like Fred French, that amazing badass of a man.
Now, I have distinct memories of a kid with corn on the cob. You'd wrap it in tinfoil. You guys still doing that, or just putting it raw right on the thing?
Either or. I like it in tinfoil, but last night when we were barbecuing, Mr. Lacroix, he did it straight on the grill, and it ended up fucking amazing. So now I might switch it up and start doing it that way.
Yeah, I typically don't like to use the tinfoil if I don't have to. But if you cook smaller things like you ever dice up a whole bunch of like onions, peppers, and potatoes, wrap those in like a little tinfoil bag with some Italian dressing, like some Italian salad dressing, and cook that shit on the grill. Holy shit, is that good? I highly recommend doing that. Or with raw shrimp. Put raw shrimp in with Italian dressing. It'll blow your it'll blow your dick off. It's so good.
I don't fuck with onions and peppers.
What? I don't fuck with any sort of crustaceans under the water either.
Also that.
They can go fuck themselves.
Ranch dressing on salmon and cook it on the cedar board.
All right. Let's move on. Jesus Christ. We're going to
salmon.
Now, I'm more Julia Child than you. Listen to me. My dick's longer than you. Look at how I stroke it.
No, I'd never put my dick on the grill. That would fucking hurt.
Pussy.
All right. Now that I'm all fired up, this is perfect. We don't have a soundbite for this, do we, Corey? We just have
There you go.
That's right. So if people listen to us at the Game of the Year show, is that correct? I believe we rolled this out one time. And so here we are almost 6 months later. I'm going to roll it back out tonight. We'll see how it goes. There has been recent conversation, especially on Podcast Unlocked, which is IGN's Xbox podcast, that Destiny 2 will be locked at 30 frames per second on the PS4 Pro. And because of an exclusive marketing deal with Sony, PlayStation, they are speculating that this will also hold true for the Xbox One and Scorpio. That they will not, meaning Bungie, Activision, will not try to alienate Sony and PlayStation by offering a better performing game on the Scorpio versus the PS4 Pro. Everybody understand that so far?
I think so.
I'm having a very hard time not saying shut the fuck up.
Well, you can't shut it the fuck up yet.
Not yet.
I know. That's why I'm having a hard time.
So this exclusive marketing deal also extends to games like Call of Duty, Red Dead Redemption 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Far Cry 5, etc., etc. So they're now speculating that, all these new games that are coming out, the new hotness, possibly could be held back performance-wise on the Scorpio because of what the PS4 Pro cannot do in comparison to the Scorpio. So, gentlemen, let's discuss this. Does anybody have any strong opinions to kick this off? And I guess before we kick it off, the rule here is if someone tells you to shut the fuck up, you have to be silent for a minute.
Yes, 1 full minute. That was the rule for the last segment. But we were also doing like voting. I don't think we're doing any. Should we vote either way? Like, is this okay or is this not okay? And then there'll be like a winner at the end.
Nah, maybe that's a little too sophisticated for what we're after. Let's just have a healthy debate and move on.
Majority rules.
So who's going to keep track of the time?
I'll get it.
All right. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first because I like it when people say "shut the fuck up" to me. So, it does not bother me in the least. Probably because I've been one to say that I'm not going to jump on board with this 1.5 iteration of these consoles. I'm not going to buy a PS4 Pro or a Scorpio unless my current gen versions of both of those breaks. Then I might consider it. But no, it does not bother me in the least. And it actually makes me kind of happy because knowing that...
Shut the fuck up.
All right.
We don't want to hear anybody about being happy.
Well, in that case...
I feel bad for the guy out there that's the Xbox fanboy, saving up his money. He's only an Xbox guy.
Up.
Oh,
Joe just wanted to say it.
No, you want to start getting this feeling sorry for Xbox fanboys. Get out of here.
All right. Well, so now it's just the three of us. So who wants to go next?
I guess Joe's going.
Oh, go ahead, Jay.
No, you're on it, buddy.
PlayStation, whatever. They forked out the money. They can set the rules. They can set the standard. Xbox would be lucky to even hit that 30 frames per second anyway. You know what I mean?
That's it? I was expecting more. There was no lit, no nothing in there.
'Twas lit.
I don't like it, but we've got all the consoles, so it doesn't really affect us, or affect me, I should say, or Mike and whatnot in that way. So,
all right, I'm back, and I'm saying, Jay,
shut the fuck up.
I'm using my shut the fuck up. All right, and Mike, yeah, you're officially back because you got shut the fuck up 5 seconds after me. So, but what I just wanted to say, and then I'll end it, is anytime a fanboy of anything can get really mad on the internet, it always makes me kind of happy. I feel the exact opposite as bad for any fanboys because. Seriously, just screw the fuck up. Relax. Come on. Find something to be happy about on the internet, not get so upset about things. I interrupted.
Oh, you're
going to use shut the fuck me? I can talk now until someone shut the fucks me up, I guess. No,
I already used mine.
All right, I'll let Mike. It would have been, yeah. I've been talking too long. Sean, what do you have to say?
Nothing.
Yeah, great. Profound.
Sensing a theme from Sean this show. Well, I mean, I don't have consoles, so this doesn't really. I don't really care either way because doesn't matter to me, honestly. I mean, this is all. I just don't care. I don't know why. Maybe I should have just stayed off the show tonight because I seem to have the nothing, and it's a lot of nothings coming out of my mouth.
Oh, don't be so down on yourself, you wiener.
You mentioned the whole State Farm thing. Look at all the conversation that brought up.
I like that you're surly. I like you're surly. I like it. And Jay, you're back now, by the way. Sorry.
All right, Sean, I got to ask you. You say it doesn't affect you because you're on PC. But PS4, if you were interested in Destiny, and PS4 is going to have content that the other two won't, that doesn't bother you?
No.
Say there was a raid or whatnot that they took out.
Well, isn't it just frames per second? It's not like
it's 30 frames a second. I mean, honestly, I don't know why they're even locking it. That makes no sense to me. But
because I don't think the PS4 Pro can do it.
I thought it was supposed to be like a powerful machine.
Yeah, but I don't know if it can do 4K and 60. It can't do that.
Right.
But it's not content.
I don't know. Okay.
They want it to run consistent. They don't want it to sort of fluctuate. So they said, all right, if it's going to run consistent, keep it at 30 frames per second.
But it's going to be visuals. It's not content, right? Like Jay just mentioned a raid that might be
Jay's going outside the box.
It said exclusive marketing deals with PlayStation and stuff. So that's why I was wondering. I mean, 30 frames per second. Yeah, I mean, can they even push it at 1080? I think the Scorpio may be able to, but I don't know if the Pro could.
I just think that PlayStation is trying to get themselves set up for before E3 so that they can, just in case Microsoft has something up their sleeve that might try to take away from them, I guess. That's what it seems like they're doing. Seems like they're trying to buy up as much as possible so that they can, they'll have all this stuff under their belt so that when Microsoft comes out, if they do or do not have something coming out, that they'll be ahead of the game. I think that's all this is, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, that could be what it is, but I'm looking at it more from the consumer side, right? I mean, imagine buying a Lamborghini and then you only can drive on 45-mile-an-hour streets. right? What's the purpose of getting it? So the person who's invested in the Xbox ecosystem, saves up, and then they get this thing, and it can just basically doing what the One can do because Sony's handicapped what can and cannot happen.
But it's more powerful.
Buyer beware.
Yeah, I think that is a slippery slope that both console makers have. They only had themselves to blame by putting these iterative consoles out, right?
Yeah. Especially if you're going to have that promise of no, all games will be able to run on both of them. Then
yes, you know what that is? That's them making themselves look good, right? That's them saying, we've opened this system. It's up to the developers. Don't blame us.
And didn't Drive Club come out? The makers of Drive Club come out and say that they would not. They'll make it if they can run more. They will on the Scorpio compared to the others. But
Drive Club.
Yeah, is it Drive Club or what's it? No. Yeah, maybe it was Drive Club. I can't remember. I think that was one of them.
Got closed down.
Project Cars. Sorry, Project Cars. Is that the one? It was a racing game. And it wasn't Forza. It wasn't Forza. So it was some game they were saying that they will make it so it will run. So
right, they probably don't have an exclusive deal with.
Right, they don't have an exclusive deal with them. Correct. So I mean, that's the only time you would notice whether it could or not. If somebody makes a marketing deal, it's usually in the back room. We don't hear about it anyways, and mostly it's just people speculating. So
why do we why do we need a most powerful console if the PlayStation stuff is going to dictate how these games are going to run, and if Microsoft wants to make them all accessible? That conversation we had. I wonder if this thing's going to be so powerful, but then it's not going to be utilized, except the people like you just mentioned, Project Cars and other people that just don't have an exclusive deal. But those games don't sell in the volume like a Red Dead or a Call of Duty do.
Right.
Hold on. Wait 1 second. Mike just said duty do. I just want to point that out. Okay, go ahead.
Call of Duty do.
I wasn't going to say anything because that's going to be the other soundbite I get tonight.
All right. Well, I guess the consensus here is that 4 of you guys don't give a shit. It's just the way it is. And my bleeding heart over here, I feel for the Xbox people who might get shut out of some better performance due to some contractual monetary deals.
I think they've held themselves back, basically, though. I mean, by saying that everything has to run on it. I mean, if you're building a game, it's like when they were building the games for the PS3 and for the Xbox 360, but it also came out on the current gen consoles at the same time. It was held back. Destiny was one of them. It was held back by the other ones. And then Destiny, after a while, said, okay, we're not supporting the old consoles, so the latest one is now going to only run on current consoles.
Shut the fuck up, Jay.
Okay, Thank God.
I knew I could get him use it.
I wondered.
He's still talking.
I wondered who else had one left.
I thought I was going to get beeped twice, but Sean showed me some mercy. All right, let's move on and talk about what we've been playing, gentlemen.
All right, so is Jay still in
Jay can
hell?
Come back when it's his turn. We're moving on.
Okay,
we beat that up pretty good.
All right, so you're back, Jay. You only had 20 seconds.
Woohoo! I cheated.
All right, Sean, I see you've been playing GTA 5. That seems to be the lone standout amongst our list here. What's going on with that?
Well, I kind of got back into it because I have a 4K TV now. I picked one up, and I want to tell you that game looks absolutely phenomenal when you have the right hardware to see it. And basically, it's just I've been watching a lot of Twitch channels, and there's been a lot of there's a new server a role playing server that I've been watching, GTA State of Emergency, which is basically a server that they play on GTA 5. They have somehow there's a site or something that manipulates the game so it actually is real time. Like you use gas, your car if you smash it too many times won't run anymore. You got to fix it, so you have to get it towed. So it's kind of like a real life thing, played by real cops, real emergency people. on that end of it. So it's a neat thing, and I've been watching a lot of it. And one of the guys from one of the other podcasts that I'm on from time to time, Rated R, started playing it. So I've been playing with him. We're doing heists and stuff, and I just kind of got back into it. It's something different. I actually haven't played any Ark in a couple of weeks, per se. So I'm arked out for the moment. So GTA 5 caught my attention again.
Have you done any of the first person stuff? I know when they re-released it for the current gen consoles, they did that whole first person thing. Have you played it all like that?
Oh, first person, that's the way I drive in the game, actually. It makes things entertaining when you can't see your car. So
when you tumble down a ravine in first person.
Yeah. So, it's neat. I don't know. I just got kind of back into it. And with the 4K TV and the new computer, it looks phenomenal. It runs ridiculously well, and the graphics is just incredible. So it's like a whole new game for me right now.
Big penis.
That's where that's from, that soundbite, actually.
My name is Sean, and it's been 3 weeks since my last game of Ark.
Well, there was that. Did you see that trailer today, Sean?
Yes, I did. For the toilet, because we need the toilet in the fucking game instead of optimizing it. Let's do that first. Don't get me started, please.
All right. Corey, you got some different games on the list there? Well, why don't you go next?
Yes, Overwatch. I've had people yelling at me to try this game for a year now, and I feel like the internet was just telling me to buy it now because of the anniversary edition and then the free weekend. So I picked up Overwatch. I bought it today after the free weekend, and I'm into it. It's been out for a year, so I'm not going to, beat it up. Everyone knows what Overwatch is, but I'm into it now. So if anybody wants to play, hit me up. I'm playing it on the Xbone. Of course, I'm still playing Mario.
You're not a real Xbox gamer.
I'm not. I'm sorry.
Calling it the Xbone.
Xbone's such a cool name for it, though. All right, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, still playing that, still fantastic. I still want to play against friends, but we know how difficult it is to play with people. And the only other game I really want to discuss is Prey. I finally finished Prey, and I have to say, overall, I kind of found it to be disappointing, but I don't really know if I can blame the game for being disappointing or just the way I played it. Because I really, really love that opening. How many did you guys all play the demo, right? I remember discussing the demo with you guys.
I did.
You did. That opening was awesome. That first hour, and they kept the same tone from the first game. It's like the only thing that made it over from the first game is we're gonna fuck with your expectations for this game. We're gonna fuck with your perspective, and they did that throughout the game. But we discussed a couple episodes ago that there was that glitch. You guys remember that glitch where you could create infinite crafting materials?
Yes.
Well, I was playing one night, and I was a little drunk, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if that glitch works, because I don't think they've patched it yet. And it worked, and I made about 2,000 of each crafting material, because I was like, they're probably going to eventually patch this, so I'm going to do that. So eventually the game became incredibly easy for me, and I broke the game for myself. So I probably have no one to blame but me. But I found it to be eventually tedious, and I didn't like all the, fetch questing and all the side quests I didn't find to be interesting at all. So I just kind of slogged my way through the end of the game. There is a kind of, I won't want to spoil it, but there's a post credits type thing that was really interesting, even though I was kind of not even invested in the story anymore. But I recommend waiting around for that, or at least beating it to see that, because there was this little twist at the end that was really cool that I'd like to discuss, but I don't want to mention it now. The game's too new.
That surprises me because while there are some people online that says it's an okay game or it's a good game, I've yet to hear many people say, wow, that sucked. That wasn't a good game. So yeah, it's unfortunate.
I found the weapon variety to be really lacking. I know you're supposed to use your powers, but I didn't find the powers that interesting. I found the enemies kind of be boring. They were just these black squiggly drawings. I didn't think the enemies were that interesting, and the narrative kept trying to I don't know. It didn't keep my attention. I know a lot of people were raving about it, and I don't know why. I just beating it it felt like it was a job. The last 5 or 6 hours, I was like, oh god, I got to beat this game before I buy another one. So I got to sit down and put a few more hours into it. But I don't know.
It felt like a job, huh?
Oh yeah, I beat it like a job all the time. I deserve a promotion, actually. But yeah,
nice.
that's my thought on Overwatch, or not Overwatch, Prey.
Prey. Okay, Jay, how about yourself? What have you been up to?
Well, I have something similar to Corey. I'm getting the game that I've been playing the most lately is beginning to feel more cumbersome and job-like, and that's Zelda Breath of the Wild. I've gotten to a point now, I've beaten 2 of the Divine Beasts, but I've just been running off, and anytime I see a side quest, I've been doing it. And again, like he said, he broke it in that way. I'm doing it in that way that I just keep doing these side quests, and they're kind of feeling like fetch quests now in some cases. So just trying to get the amount of resources that I need to be able to do stuff. I did get what's the name of the sword? The
Great Sword.
Yeah, the Great Sword. I did get that. So I think now I'm just going to focus on trying to beat the game. But I almost feel like, I don't know, it's probably just me not playing it right, but I feel like I'm a little underpowered because I'm getting into some of these other areas now that I'm like just these, what are the lizard things that kind of blend in and they'll jump up? I mean, they're one-hitting me, and I'm like, what the hell? I mean, I've got 14 hearts, and I'm wearing all the
Lizalfos, the guys.
Yeah, the Lizalfos. Yeah, I'm like, wow, what is going on? And then I'll just kind of figure out how to get it through. But it's getting a little cumbersome. So I'm gonna see what I can do about getting through and get the next 2 Divine Beasts go through and try and beat the game now. So I think I'm just gonna try and stay on the main path. Did any of you guys ever get the house?
I did.
I should say you did.
I got the deal to buy it for 3,000 rupees and a bunch of wood.
Yeah. Yep.
I just haven't got the wood yet.
Yeah, I did that, and I was like, I thought I'd have all kinds of storage and everything. I'm like, what the fuck? They want more money.
This podcast is gold tonight. Gold.
Gold. Yeah, no, you don't need gold. It's wood and rupees. But, but yeah, so I'm just going to continue on with that. I went back and played some Voodoo Vince Remastered. I'm enjoying it. However, there's a gas pump section. You're going to beat some gas pumps, and I can't figure out how to beat the freaking things. So I got to go in and find something to help me beat that. Playing more balls on my phone, and that is beginning to get a little old now because I cannot beat my score. So that's probably not going to last too much longer.
Let's be honest, your balls have been old for a while.
Oh, yeah, hanging low, too, yeah.
I'm a little disappointed, Jay, that you said you bought Shadow Warrior 2, but I don't see it on your list.
No, I have not touched that yet. You can probably hear it in my voice a little bit. I mentioned earlier that they've put me on some steroids because I was having a hard time breathing. And
get out the violin, Corey. You got the violin soundtrack.
That's the closest I got.
There you go.
Breathing's for
sure. But no, I was to a point where I wasn't play. I was so sick I wasn't even playing games. So there was 3 or 4 days I didn't play at all. I was pretty much going to work, come home, and go to bed. So I haven't had a chance to get into that. And then today I fired up the Dishonored 2 trial. Started playing that a little bit. It's very much like the first game. I mean, not a lot of change. The controls do seem a little sluggish, I guess is the only way I can describe it. I've been trying that out. We'll see how that goes. I think you can play with the first 3 parts of it. So tried that. I haven't gotten a ton into it, but it's very much like the first one. And still suck at stealth. So that's what I've been doing.
All right, so that's me next, and I got a bunch, but I'll go through these quick. I've been doing the Horizon Zero Dawn Zelda every other day dance pretty much right now. I want to finish both, still enjoying both, and I've made some good progress in both, so that's where I'm at with those 2. And now I've been doing games in a little bit of like, when you go to a brewery, they give you a flight of beers. I've been playing some games in sort of small increments. And I think these games sort of lend themselves to that. So the first is Thumper. That's out on the Switch now. I'm not sure how you categorize the game. It's a
rhythm game, isn't it?
Looks like Rez.
Yeah.
It's like what?
Like Rez. It really reminds me of like a modern version of Rez.
Right, and it's got this monster that you are, or various monsters, I guess, that you are fighting against, and you have to turn your. I think you're some sort of like beetle-looking thing, like a metallic beetle, and you got to turn your shell a certain way so the turns don't blow up your shell. You got basically like 2 lives. And so you just, got to get the timing down and take those turns the right way, and eventually you send a bolt towards this monster, and you rinse, repeat, and they make it more intricate as you go along. So I feel good that I've gone through the first level, which I think is maybe 13 or 14 stages. Then you get a boss and then a final boss. So
I got a question about rhythm. Have you played a lot of other rhythm games aside from Thumper? Like you ever played a Rez or anything like that?
No, I played like Guitar Hero and stuff. I call those rhythm games.
Yeah, I would too. I'm curious as how would you rate your proficiency in those games? Because you're a musician, obviously. So I wonder, like, how comfortable do you feel with those games? Because I'm fucking awful at rhythm games.
I'm pretty awful at them too, because it's not the. I come from a music sense that I think of things in patterns of 4, groups of 4, whether it's 4/4 or 5/8. Music just sort of played like that, and so it's really not. It's these guys were musicians, so maybe they'll come back to me and say, Mike, this is in 7/8. You should know how to play this. I don't know. To me, some of the buttons don't feel like a rhythm to me. It's just can you memorize it more than play something in a sensical rhythm.
So it doesn't
sensical pattern.
You wouldn't say it like transfers over then that skill to these types of games. Oh, okay.
No, if you're good at QuickTime events, then you'd be good at this game because that's what you're doing. You're seeing something and you're reacting to it.
Oh, okay.
But I enjoy it, and I'm playing it on the Switch. Again, that's called Thumper. Mr. Shifty, I've been playing on the PC. I have completed the first 2 levels of the tower so far. Again, in small doses, I enjoy this game. I know when I was talking with Corey about buying this for the Switch, and I think Joe was going to be playing it maybe on the PC, that they read some reviews that it wasn't that great or kind of repetitive. In the small doses that I play it, which is like 15 or 20 minutes at a time, I really enjoy it. I like going like time traveling through the rooms, picking up, stupid weapons and knocking the guys out. And level 2 introduced some new mechanics to the game that I thought were challenging. So I'm having fun with it. It's sort of like a, Hotline Miami, right?
It looks a lot like it, yeah.
Top down, sort of Hotline Miami meets Ape Out in that genre. A game I played today that I absolutely loved from the minute I started playing it was called Dead Cells. Shout out to Holy Headshot because he's been talking a lot about this. This is a Metroidvania type game. It is a roguelike, but it's done so well. It's an early access. It's only on PC right now. I would love for this to come to the Switch. I think it would look phenomenal on there. It's got the 8-bit or 16-bit look, but it looks gorgeous. The backgrounds are so detailed. But just the fighting, the various weapons, the constant loot drops, it's just a very enticing game and want you to keep playing. I've probably played hour and a half, and each run, depending on the luck of the draw, can last 5 minutes to 20 minutes. I'm sure people with much better skills are going much farther along in the game than I am, but I really like that one. So keep an eye out for Dead Cells.
It does look really cool. Screenshots make me jealous that it's not on consoles yet.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those, pixel art games, and I know Jay doesn't like them, but there is a lot of depth into this game as far as the artwork. The backgrounds look phenomenal. And again, I like the various weapons that you can pick up. They got like electric lassos and blood swords and, frozen grenades and throwing darts. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
This one's actually has interested me. It looks good, and I have been hearing good things from other podcasts also about it. So
yeah,
something I do want to check out.
It handles very well.
Does it?
Let's see what's next. The Division, played a bunch of that with Matt and Ice Guy Kiddo, but more of the same, nothing really to report. Crossout on the PS4. This is an MMO race, MMO action game. Think of Mad Max, Borderlands, but vehicle combat. It's not ready for prime time. I think it comes out this week. Nobody else is playing. I was playing against bots. And you got this huge map that, again, looks like Mad Max or Borderlands, but everybody's just in the center just bumping cars into each other. It was not inspiring to play. The menus were convoluted. I can't endorse that yet. We'll see what happens when it releases this week and more people start playing it, but to me it felt like a mess.
Yeah, it looks like they're going for like a Twisted Metal MMO, and yeah, I remember it looking really rough. I think I got like review copy emails, and I did not make use of them.
And lastly, real quick here, Forza Horizon 3. Just a frustrating experience for me. I got about 2 hours in now. The Hot Wheels stuff is still not unlocked. Playing through the game, and it's like, here, you just unlocked a new car, Lamborghini, great. And you think you're going to get a Lamborghini and go race around, and the very next mission I go to, get out of your Lamborghini and go into this dirt buggy and race around on the dirt now. It's like, well, why did you just take up all this time giving me the Lamborghini if I'm going to all of a sudden hop out and do some buggy racing? But I think the main thing I don't like about the game is it constantly feels like it beats you over the head with stuff you have to buy. You know, you go to the garage and it's like, well, here's this expansion. You click on it, it takes you right into the store. So there was just a lot of microtransaction stuff in there. I'm just frustrated that I haven't been able to get to the Hot Wheels stuff still. I read online you have to unlock 2 festivals, and I haven't done that yet after about 2 hours. So hopefully I can find the second festival and get on to doing Hot Wheels, but nothing yet. And lastly, Joe, me and you have both been playing PlayerUnknown Battleground.
PUBG, baby.
PUBG. So I tried that today for the first time. I thought that was a lot of fun. It was very tense, I think is the way that I would describe it. So you get in this plane, you drop out, and I find if you drop out too soon, you're like stuck in these like buildings and houses where there's not a lot of people around, and you're just going around scavenging gear and waiting for someone. You could sit there. I remember one match I played, I sat there and I was like 48, and I was like, fuck this, 48 people left, I'm going to find people. And as soon as I stepped out, someone shot and killed me. So
good strategy.
That'll happen.
I rolled up on this one guy. He was just in nothing but tighty whities, and he had a shotgun, but he wasn't looking at me. I didn't have any guns, and I just beat him to death with my fist. And then I tried to take his guns, and someone came up from behind me and shot me. But I feel like I would have more fun playing with people I know than just going in with randoms. But it ran fine on my computer. You know, I mean, obviously you can tell it's early access and things like that. But I had no issues in the plane. It was holding steady. It's, at some point, it's like 85 frames per second.
For me, play with you. Let's figure that out.
Yeah, so I had some fun with that. But anything new this week with you with that game?
With me? No, I played a couple rounds, but I didn't make it very far. I died fairly quick, but that's just I haven't had much time to really focus on it. I did play a couple other games, though. The one that I've been enjoying the most is a repeat from last week. I kind of did a quick hit on it. It's the Super Rude Bear Resurrection. It's very similar to Super Meat Boy. The gameplay is pretty much the same. Like you're jumping on walls, avoiding spikes, avoiding saw blades, etc. But I had mentioned in the past, if you die on a set of spikes, then your corpse is just stuck there on those spikes, and you can end up jumping on your own corpse to avoid the spikes. So basically, your corpse becomes a platform. And I ended up doing that a lot to make things easier on myself. There was kind of like a secret area that's very challenging to get into, and I was like, I'm just going to throw so many corpses in it that I'm going to remove the corpses, because you have this like fairy guy that shoots a laser to remove corpses. I'm going to use that to clear a path for myself in the corpses slowly to allow myself to get through the obstacles. And it worked. I ended up like doing 150 corpses, I guess you would just say. And it was just super fun. And then I ended up just playing a little bit the right way, I guess you could say. I went into some more secret areas, and those ones I was able to get through. I've had 3 or 4 different boss fights now, and each one of those has been pretty unique, and I really am digging this game, to be honest. I definitely recommend it for anybody that's into that kind of like challenging platformer game.
That screenshot you put up, I don't remember if you put it on Twitter or Discord, of just like all those teddy bear corpses was pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I put it on Twitter. And then I'm definitely going to keep going with that. I look forward to that a lot, actually. Like, I've kind of been like, oh, maybe I can squeeze in a couple of minutes on that instead of in between this work. And it always ends up being a little bit longer than just a couple minutes, which is, that'll get you in trouble.
The good games will do that to you, right?
Yeah. I got back into Hitman because I needed a laptop for work. And I was like, well, I mean, what better equipment can you get than equipment that's built for gaming? You know what I mean? So I bought a gaming laptop.
Of course.
So I got the Asus ROG, Republic of Gamers. It has a GTX 1070 and a i7 Intel processor and a bunch of RAM, and I don't know, it's very nice, very fast. And so I've been doing a lot of work on there, getting a lot of eBay listings up, and in between I've also just been testing out games to see if they worked, and that got me to reinstall Hitman. And so I went through and I played Hitman. I beat actually 2 missions. They're the bonus missions, though. They're not full-on story missions. So I had already beat the story mission on Sapienza. But since then, not since then, because last time I had talked about Hitman, I was still butting my head against the wall on one of these, but this time I finally beat it. It's to where they converted the Sapienza map into a movie set, and there's a guy fighting like giant robot aliens. So I was able to figure that one out and find the context clues to beat that, and that was really fun. And then there was another one right after that where there is a mob boss in town, and he's hosting this giant concert with some really famous female singer in the Hitman universe. And so you're going through this like big concert area, and I disguised myself as a priest and killed him as a priest, and that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, priests always attend concerts, right?
You know, well, it's right next to a big old Catholic church. It's in Italy. You know,
oh, okay, yeah.
They just have Catholic churches on every corner.
Next to every concert venue.
Yeah, next to every concert venue. That's all. That's all Italy's good for. I'm an Italian, so it's a joke.
Way to isolate our Italian audience.
Cool.
I can do that. I'm one of you.
Anything else, Joe?
But that's I believe that's it. I reinstalled Overwatch just to see how it would perform on my laptop, and it performed very well. But I just went through the tutorial stuff where I get to target practice all the bots, and I tried out all the new characters. And I thought one of them was really cool, so I plan on at least playing a couple matches as at least one of those new characters, especially the one that I thought was really cool, and seeing how that goes.
Cool.
Yes.
And the only game I forgot to mention was The Surge. So if you like Dark Souls and things like that, and Bloodborne, you might like this. It's got more of a sci-fi feel. I feel like the controls aren't that tight enough, though. The guy feels very loose. You know, you move just a little bit, and your character's shooting off in one direction. But I'm not a big fan of games when you die, or I shouldn't say die. If you go into one area and you come back out, all the enemies have respawned again. Is that a known trait for these types of games, Corey?
Oh, yeah. That's like any sort of roguelite.
So like I go into drop off resources and materials to like craft, and power my suit up, and I go back out, and guys I just killed are already back. So that's I'm not big into that, but like Corey said, that's probably par for the course for these types of games.
Now Is there any part in Surge where like some guy screams Surge and like sprays a hose at you as you jump over couches? Or?
No. Is that a reference to the soda?
Yeah, it is a reference to Surge. Thank you. I'm glad someone got that. You could actually drink Surge while playing the Surge now.
I really want to play this game, and I don't really like the Souls games, but this one, like the aesthetic, is drawing me in super bad. I've watched a lot of gameplay of it, and it looks really cool.
It looks really good on the PS4. I hear it looks phenomenal on the PC. It's challenging for sure. And, the more, I'm sure, just like all these other games, the more you kill people, your multiplier goes up, so you're getting more loot and more stuff like that. But, you die a lot, and if you don't go back out there and kill them quickly, all the stuff that you dropped goes away. So you're constantly spending time grinding away. I'm hearing there's maybe a good 10 to 15-hour grind before the game really opens up for you and you feel like you're powered up and can progress through the story. Don't know if I have that type of time or patience, but I like it more than Lords of the Fallen. That was their game they put out before that. Interestingly, though, I felt those characters were slow in Lords of the Fallen, and in this I feel like the guy is a little too loose, a little too fast for my liking. So, but it does look good.
You like your guys tighter, right?
I like my men very tight, yes.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
Playing it fast and loose.
All right. Let's move over to the news, and then we'll be done with this bad boy. Play the sound effect there, sir.
Absolutely.
Extra, read all about it.
All right, so we got some notable releases this week. Tekken 7, Star Trek Bridge Crew, which is coming to PSVR. Perception, a game that we've talked about, and I believe we've even had Mr. Gardner on the show to talk about.
Yeah, and that's only coming out on PC this week.
Right, it's been delayed a week for administrative issues, so the console release will be a week late. There is some DLC for Titanfall 2 and Mafia 3 this week. And then The Culling is coming to Xbox One with their games preview program. Sean, how many news stories do we have tonight, sir?
Tonight we have 6. That is 6 news stories.
Thank you, Sean. Let's see, quickly here. Friday the 13th game having launch woes. I know a bunch of people have picked this up on the PS4 and they're having a hard time getting into the game. Basically, the way to summarize this is that they've been blown away by the popularity of the game, and they were not prepared for how many people were going to buy this and how many people were going to jump in day one.
Crushing the servers.
So the server issues is like console wide. See, I thought it was just PC that was having launch woes. I didn't know it was for the consoles as well.
Everybody's having the problem is they gave it to Twitch streamers. You know what that does? That gives your game a huge audience, and the streamers can play with their communities. So it just blew up and I don't think they were ready. Obviously, they weren't ready for like the moment that the server started crashing was probably the moment they were sitting there going, shit.
I will give their Twitter people some props. They're on top of it. They're informative, and they also have a sense of humor. Let me read this for you. This is a tweet from Nidge81 at Friday the 13th game. Any chance you fix this game? Only so much masturbating a guy can do while waiting to play this game. Hashtag no right and left.
Oh, well, with that attitude, I mean, God, he's totally not a pro.
So Friday the 13th game says, go for a stranger. But we're working here as much as we can. It sucks, but this is tedious work that we're focused on. So all you masturbators out there will know what go for a stranger means.
Yeah.
So I did appreciate that.
Should that be our question of the week? Who here has done the stranger?
Maybe some other time, Corey.
All right.
Now, are they just a 4-person team?
Oh, I think there's probably more. Ilphonic is the publisher.
Yeah.
I don't think they're 4 people.
Okay. Somebody had, that was one of the replies in the tweets. That's why I didn't actually have the info.
I don't believe so. They're putting out that other game. It just got a name change, too, that tactical zombie game. It was called something else, and I don't know what it's called now, but I would think they're more than 4 people. They're certainly not a major AAA.
No, they are small, yeah. They're a smaller dev team. But.
So keeping our eye on that. I know Nick Games on the Mind has been playing it a lot and enjoying it when it works, and I'm eager to try it out. I'm just waiting a little bit, and hopefully they get things straightened out in the next week or so.
Yeah, because everybody that I know that has gotten in, and when they could get into play, have said that it's a ton of fun to play. It's just frustrating trying to get in.
Right. PlayStation news. Sony hits 7 million active monthly users on PlayStation 4 and 26.4 PS Plus members. And they had some sort of media briefing this week and said they're going to be offering or upping the offerings they have for PS Plus. And very quickly, I don't want to belabor the point here, I would be for getting rid of free games. Because I think I can't remember the last time I played a free game on either thing. And I would be more happy with PS Plus if I could get a deeper discount on day one digital releases. So what I mean by that is Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out, right? I'm a PS Plus member. Give it to me for $40 or $45. I'd rather have that than these free games.
Yeah, but it's about a lot about it is about exposure for games that might not have a lot of press. I can't stand it when they make one of the free games a game that's been around for like years. I hate when they do that. But when they put a game up that no one's ever heard of, it's an old example, but like Rocket League wouldn't be half as big as it is today if it wasn't for that whole free game thing.
That got it out there because it was so fun to play once people.
But think about it. That's one game. How many other free games that they've given out that you didn't know about have you gone and played?
Right. I wish if I had my choice, I would either do what you said and get deeper discounts because I'm buying more games like that, or do all relatively new indie games because I'm more of an indie game guy. Hate when they do old games that have already come and gone.
Well, you're going to hate the Xbox story then, but
yes,
I'm curious to see what they're going to be doing with the to entice the PS Plus membership. Xbox news here: Beam is now Mixer. I guess they had some sort of copyright issues in other countries, couldn't use the name.
Yeah.
They launched some other features here, co-streaming. Do they always have that before? I'm not that complete.
Oh, now you can have like 4 people can stream at once. So I guess that's kind of partly why they used the Mixer name, because being able to. So like if we're playing and we're playing Battlefield and whatnot, you can have 4 in your team or whatever. 4 of us could be streaming now, and people can watch all 4 of us at once. So.
Yeah, it says co-streaming doesn't require streamers to play the same game or even do the same activity, and you can join a co-stream with friends who are streaming from different types of devices. 4 friends can broadcast a co-op session of League of Legends or PUBG, and then just as easily stream a remote live band jam session from their phone or play a multiplayer board game with their viewers. Well, who the hell would want to tune in and watch all that?
No shit.
That's a cluster, but.
I mean, I'd rather watch 4 people play the same game, but from a different perspective.
Right. Yeah, I think that really is an improvement there. I mean,
Games Pass comes out June 1st, the Xbox Game Pass, and the culling will be part of that.
Oh.
So.
And all the BioShocks are in that.
Yep. So it's going to be $9.99 per month. Supposedly over 100 games, and again, this is not a streaming service. You download these games, so beware of your data cap if you're going to be purchasing this and downloading 100 games within the first day or two. But is anybody picking this up? Jay, is this something you're getting or no?
I may grab it, and because you can get a 14-day free trial if you're a gold member. I believe we can get into it now because we're in the preview program,
right.
But then after that's gone, well, actually, I think it's all gold members can do it, and then after a month or so, then everybody else can go in and do it too. You can do it. You can try a 14-day free trial, but it's kind of the deal when you get it. If you've got these games, the games that are in the pass, you can also get discounts on. So. They have a decent discount on the BioShock games. I may pick them up, even though right now at Best Buy and Amazon it's $25 for the 3-pack. But so I'll just check it out for that and see how good the discounts are and stuff. But it's not something I think I would subscribe to Apparently, I was in the early thing for this, and it was a limited amount of games, and I owned all but 2 of them.
All right. I wish there was a way that they could tell you, like, before you sign up for it, like, hey, you're about to give us $10 a month, just so you know, out of these 100 games, you own this percentage of them. Well, you really want to go?
You can go in, and it gives you a list of the games that are in it. And it's kind of like it's in the store. It's like one of them things like you go in and look, and like it'll show and say like owned. The only time you run into an issue is when they're the backwards compatible games, and those don't always show up as owned. So, but yeah, you can go and look at it that way.
All right. And Corey, this one's for you. The games with gold for June. Let's see. The whole month of June, you get Speedrunners. From June 16th to July 15th, you get Watch Dogs. From June 1st to the 15th, you get Assassin's Creed 3.
Is it Watch Dogs 1 or 2?
1.
So they're giving you the worst Watch Dogs game, and they're giving you the worst Assassin's Creed game.
I think you mean watch_dogs.
Oh, I'm sorry.
True.
Assassin's Creed 3, again, June 1st to the 15th. That's on Xbox 360. Of course, these are backwards compatible, too. And Dragon Age Origins from June 16th to the 30th. And DLC for Phantom Dust available June 1st to the 30th. So I know some people were raving about this, but again, people prefer Watch Dogs 2 over 1. And I don't hear many people saying they really like Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah,
Corey was just going, I hate when they give us old games.
I do. I feel like it's just kind of a, we don't know what to do. Yeah, well, I don't want to call anyone in the video game industry lazy, but yeah, Christ, like, make me care. These are, Watch Dogs 1, really?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Like that game Rhyme just came out, and it's getting mixed reviews. You would think one of these console holders would give you that game free to try to get some publicity. Right? That's a perfect example of what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Right. At least it's great advertisement for an indie studio. That's a huge install base of people who are just going to download it because it's going to be like, well, what the hell? It's free. Why not?
But we've got speedrunners in there, right?
Yes.
At least some speedrunners.
Oh, God, that is so much fun. I mean, it's been out on PC for a while, but I think it's brand new to console, correct?
I think so.
Yeah, I think this is the release of it. So we are getting, that's one of the ones where you're getting at release, although it has been on PC for a while. But man, I think we played that last year with RoboPig for the
Extra Life.
Extra Life. Oh my God, that was so much fun. That game is a ton of fun. So we'll have to download that, and everybody that has the Xbox, and try that out.
And last bit of news here, we'll get over to the Nintendo Switch. I should say apologies first. It doesn't seem like any of us played the ARMS Test Punch. I was working or out with the family when those were going down. Corey, you didn't have any time either, right?
I didn't. I downloaded it, but to be honest, I didn't have that much of an interest in it because I played it at PAX and I wasn't too into it. I literally was playing Overwatch at the time, so not my scene.
I watched Nick stream it on Mixer, and it looked phenomenal. It's a great-looking game. He was playing the motion controls, and I was like, I'm out. I'm not sitting in my house and twisting my arms and doing all this crap. And then I was listening to other people like Andrew Reiner at Game Informer, and he says he enjoyed it more with the normal controls.
Yep.
So if that's the case, I might be interested with just the normal controls. But it looked great. The stream on Mixer, I thought the game looked phenomenal. But last bit of news here, Monster Hunter is heading to Nintendo Switch, and because of that, their stock went sky high afterwards. A 5.48% rise. They got a rise, Corey.
Ooh.
But none of us here are Monster Hunter guys, so it doesn't mean much to us, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that give a shit about this.
I've heard people rave about Monster Hunter for years, and I've thought about getting into it. They had a free demo occasionally on 3DS, and I played it, and I'm like, I need to know a few other people who play this. It's a game you play with other people. So like this coming out on the Switch, I'm again, it's kind of got my attention, but I don't know how the online is going to be. Typically, Monster Hunter is a game you play like with like a local not like LAN, but you know what I mean. Like you play it locally, which could be big for the Switch, but again, it's going to be huge in Japan. Monster Hunter is like a giant franchise in Japan.
So just so people put this in perspective, this is the highest level since October of 2008 as far as their stock price. It afforded Nintendo the ability to add $2.2 billion to its market capitalization as a result of the share price move.
From one announcement of one game. That's how big that game is in Japan right now.
It's nuts.
Yep. And I also hear because of this, or maybe in lockstep with it, that they've upped their production of the Switch, so they'll have plenty around for the holidays coming up.
Fucking thank God.
Yep. All right, gentlemen, that has been 201. Let's quickly get into some shout-outs. Sean, you want to go first?
Sure. Shout out you guys. Another great podcast, obviously. A shout out to the other podcast that I'm sometimes on, but if you want to know anything about ARC, it's Rated ARC. They're the ones, they go in depth a lot more than I can here. Because they just got a lot more voices in the podcast. And a shout out to all listeners, man. Thanks. Keep the responses coming. We love them. It's nice to have a Discord that we can just get all these answers, and it's more than 140 characters.
Yes, sir. All right, Corey, how about yourself?
Just a couple of quick small things. If you like Kimmy Schmidt, season 3 is on Netflix. Definitely check that out. Fucking great show. If you ever have any interest in the Boston Festival of Indie Games, kind of a mini version of that is happening this week called Spring Play, the Boston Game Expo. That's happening, I believe, this Wednesday. I'm not sure when the show is going to go up, but if you're in Boston, head to Laugh Boston. It's actually right next to where PAX usually is, down in that bar in the hotel. And the only other major announcement I have, I was going to do it last episode, but that was like 200, and I figured I'd save for this one, is I have technically left Bago as a staff writer. When I first started doing things, with video game, the whole video game industry and covering news and so forth, I wanted to pursue a freelance career, and when I got to Bago, I feel like I've been there for a few years. I just got too comfortable. So like creatively, I feel like I've kind of been spinning my wheels. So I've left Bago. I'm off doing a freelance career now. I'll still be putting some stuff up on Bago now and again. They're one of the websites I'll be sending my freelance stuff to, but it's not going to affect anything I'm doing here on the show. If anything, I'll probably have a little bit more time to do silly shit like type on a keyboard in the background while somebody's talking. Motherfucker.
If you don't want to answer this, you don't have to, but a question I want to ask is, how does this affect now you going to things like FIG and PAX? Are you going to try to go as a freelancer? Do they allow freelancers, or do you got to be sort of positioned with a outlet? Thought about that?
As far as I know, I think you have to be representing an outlet, but I was talking to Trevor, and I told him that, if he still wants me to, I can still cover local events like FIG and PAX. So, when PAX is coming up, told him I will cover that for Bago as a freelancer, but I would be representing Bago at the time, if I'm, available at that time, which, I probably will be. And I'm always more than happy to do that. PAX is a lot of fun.
Gotcha. Cool. Joe, how about yourself?
Shout out to everybody that responded to the question of the week that has to do with me. That's
I'll
it.
go buy his bird shirt so he feels good about himself.
The bird shirt.
I got one.
Bird shirt in the house.
Soup.
All right. Anything else, Joe?
No.
All right. Jay?
I just want to say shout out to Joe because that bird shirt is lit.
Lit AF.
Lit AF. Yes.
Yes, Jay said it.
Yeah. And shout out to Sean for making it tonight, even though he's exhausted. Been rough. We did have a change of plans, so a shout out to Mike for changing plans at the last minute after putting in some heavy work to get things ready for Sunday, and we all kind of had some things going on. So thank you for that. And shout out to Corey, just because, I hadn't shouted him out yet, and he's on here, and I don't want to make him mad.
No, you don't, sir.
No, but I've had a rough week, so shout out to my doctor for finally getting some medications that made me feel a little bit better this week. And
did your doctor listen?
I hope he does.
I hope he does. I really do. I'll find
he
out
wore the
next
bird
appointment.
shirt to the appointment.
I did, actually. So there's that. And as usual, shout out to the listeners. Appreciate you downloading and listening to the podcast. And if you get a chance, give us some feedback, if you could, on the podcast app that you may use, and rate us and tell us what's going on. And to the people on Discord and Twitter that reply. That has really we enjoy communicating with you in that way. So thank you.
All right, I'll make it quick. I want to welcome Soda Bread to the Discord channel. He's one of the newest members, so welcome, sir. And I want to thank Jeremy from Dad's Getting Grounded and Nick, Games on the Mind. I asked them to fill in last night because Jay explained we had some last-minute stuff. But because it was last minute, they couldn't fill in. But they said they're big fans of the show and would love to come on again in the future. So I thank those guys for partaking when they can and their interest in what we do. So thank you, gentlemen. And I think that's it, Jay.
I think that is it. So until next time, same beta channel. And hopefully we'll have some games or something coming up in the future. See ya!
See you.
If anything, Jay, you're nothing but consistent.
I can stop podcasting because at this point in time I'm about ready to smash this whole fucking computer.